Oh my God. Oh my God. Look, I hope Man City Tottenham is going to live up to the hype, because we have just seen an amazing. Well, we haven't just seen it because we didn't do a bloody watch along. That's on me, really. But that collection of 3 o'clock games are absolutely incredible. For so long, it looked like the top 4 title contenders were choking. Liverpool weren't joking. They've turned this around. Absolutely incredible scenes here. Just scored 2 goals in a minute, says Johnny. I mean, look, there are levels to this game. As a Manchester United fan, we're in the basement. We ain't got no levels. There ain't no lifts in what we're doing. But there are levels in this title race at the moment. Aston Villa got a late point at Bournemouth. Ollie Watkins scoring there. Well done to him. He got a goal and an assist. FPL we'll talk about in a moment. But that's not the real story. They're still playing at Chelsea and Brighton. Chelsea down to 10 men. 2-1 up at half-time. Made it 3-1. Brighton are pushing for a late equaliser there. Pedro's just made it 3-2. All sorts going on, but the big game of the day has to be Liverpool against Fulham. It's still being played. 1-0 to Liverpool, Trent. 1-1 Wilson. 2-1 to Liverpool, McAllister. 2-2 Tetty. 3-2 with 10 minutes to go, Cordova-Reed. 3-3 Endo, 87. 4-3 Trent Alexander-Arnold, 88. Incredible game of football at Anfield today. Just this is the Premier League. Welcome to the Premier League, and fair play to Liverpool. That table's not actually accurate, because Liverpool, well, it's not over yet. Liverpool would actually have another 3 points than that. I'm not sure why. If we get that stats carousel rolling round, it might actually update itself. But yeah, it's mentality monsters, says Smokey. They've played absolute. I mean, even I've got to say that is. Look, I've got Liverpool top at Christmas. If you listen to the Goldbridge Saves Football podcast, who'll be top at Christmas? That is all. I said it will be Liverpool. And at the moment, you probably couldn't deny that. It's just absolutely fantastic from Liverpool's point of view. I was actually saying about 20 minutes ago when Fulham were winning, or maybe 10 minutes ago when Fulham were winning, so you're telling me there's a chance? Because Man United are playing there in a couple of weeks. But yeah, love the tree, Mark, says Ross. Thank you very much. We're in a festive mood here, but it's been a goal bonanza. This is what the Premier League's all about. None of this bloody VAR shit. This is what the Premier League is all about. It's still being played between Chelsea and Brighton. 3-2 would be a massive result for Chelsea. Liverpool are still playing as well. 4-3 at Anfield there. 3 cracking games. West Ham Palace. I mean, look. Sky got it wrong. They picked the wrong fucking horse. Out of all the games they could have picked, they picked West Ham Palace, which was a boring 1-1 game. I was watching that as well. Bournemouth Villa 2-2, late equaliser by Villa. I think that's a great point for Villa on the road. Bournemouth are much improved at the moment, but Chelsea, Brighton, Liverpool, Fulham, what a couple of games they've been. And yeah, just I hope that Spurs and I hope Spurs and Man City can deliver. I think it will be very, very, very one-sided this. I fancy Man City to win it, but it's a goal fest here. There's talk of a potential penalty coming in for Brighton. I cannot confirm that at the moment. I'm not getting any confirmation on Live Score, One Football. But as a Spurs fan, I think our best strategy is to concede the game now and accept a 3-0. With our high line, this could be a bloodbath. Well, at least you got Basuma back, but you've also got Emerson Royale and Davies playing at centre-back. Yeah, you're in a massive amount of trouble here today. I don't think you've got a chance at all, Nicholas, but give it a go. There is no penalty coming through for Brighton, by the way. I think it's just people in the chat scamming. Yeah, there is no penalty at the moment. Marco Silva is severely underrated, says Donny. They're still playing Liverpool and Fulham, and they're still playing Chelsea and Brighton. Team news for the game that we're going to be doing a watch along for is going across your screen at the moment. Jack Glancy says, I'm going to clean my mouth with bleach after saying this, but Liverpool is what Man United should strive to be when it comes to mentality. The thing about Liverpool is there is a penalty. There is a penalty at Brighton. There is a penalty at Brighton. Oh my God. This is... No, it's not a penalty. Or it is a penalty. All sorts going on here. We're getting all sorts of updates. We await those updates. But it's finished at Liverpool. It's finished at Liverpool. It's finished at Liverpool. This is incredible. What an afternoon of football. I can't speak here. I can't speak here what is going on. Liverpool win. Liverpool win. No penalty given. It's all going on. It's all going on in the chat here. We're awaiting updates. I've switched it off. I've not got Brighton Chelsea on. So no penalty overturned. Wow. Similar to your performance yesterday, I hope Liverpool struggle in front of goal and you get a draw at Anfield. Says 58 go. It's not a penalty now. Do you think it was a penalty? Chat's been on fire here. We've only just gotten started. Has anybody seen it? I didn't see it. So, you know, this is a rare occasion where I haven't seen something, so I can't comment on it. Should it have been a penalty? Never a penalty, says Max. No, the ball hits his head, says Safari. No, it's not a penalty. Hit his head, not his arm, says Nost. And no, the ball hit the head, not the hand, so it's not a penalty, says Nicholas. Yeah, magic, absolutely magic game of football. Head, not hand. What do you prefer, head or hand? I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, I think I'd go with head on this one. I've not seen it, but I think I would go with head. Liverpool win again, says Tommy. Ball hits his head, but looked like arm from the camera angle, but from the other angle, you can clearly see it hits his head, says Zod. Well, it's not a penalty then, is it? It's not a penalty. Let's not try and say that Brighton have been robbed, but yeah, it's not a penalty. You know what? There's a few people in the chat saying that have United got a chance against Brighton? Sorry, have Man United got a chance against Liverpool because Fulham have scored 3 goals? Liverpool have also just scored 4 goals. Liverpool will batter Manchester. 2 weeks' time, if you want to watch me completely implode in front of your screen and go from normal human being to humiliated and, you know, devastated, then tune in 2 weeks' time on the United Stand because I think it's absolutely going to happen. I think it's absolutely going to happen. Ref atrocious in the Bournemouth Villa match, Mark, says Chronic. And Rodri has supposedly injured himself in the warm-up, says Sean. That would be great news for the Premier League and for Spurs, but it would be bad luck for them as well. FA Cup draw has been done, hasn't it? Manchester United are away to Wigan. We'll go through that in a moment. But look, I'm going to do a full weekend reaction like I always do on... we'll get it out after this at 7 o'clock tonight. But I just want to say as a little sound bite, Liverpool this season... I almost want to talk like this because I'm talking through gritted teeth. Liverpool this season are incredible. Incredible. They didn't have Alisson in goal today. Kelleher was shit. I feel like I jinxed it because we do a game called Goldbridge every Friday on the podcast where we have to pick 5 goal scorers who are going to score at the weekend. You get a point for each goal they score. A goalkeeper is going to get a clean sheet. You get a clean sheet point. And then a defender who's going to score. I said Kelleher will get a clean sheet against Fulham. So I sort of jinxed it. He conceded 3 goals. Liverpool struggled defensively today, but I think if Alisson's in goal, they don't concede 3 goals. So they've had to work today. These sort of games do happen. Like Man City get beat at home by Brentford. They get beat at home by Crystal Palace. Even the greatest teams in the league do have these moments where they struggle. To come through these moments and win is what it's all about. And Liverpool have done it again. They've got a massive game against Arsenal just before Christmas, 3 weeks' time, 3 weeks last night. But, you know, you take those wins. When you're 3-2 down with 10 minutes to go and you find a way to win it 4-3, that's what real teams are made of. I mean, I saw Newcastle last night and I thought they were fantastic. As a Manchester United fan at the moment, I look at Arsenal, I look at Liverpool, I look at Aston Villa, I look at Newcastle, I look at Man City. That's 5 teams who are in a different level to Manchester United. I don't know how Man United get anywhere near top 4 when you've got Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City in the league. And at the moment, Villa and Spurs are arguably better than us as well. So we are miles off. But that's more for the 8 o'clock on the United stand. I guess this is what VAR is good for. Injustice for Chelsea if that's a penalty, says 58 Go. Yes, and it's not. But look, you know, we're not on the United stand, we're on That's Football. We're here to talk about football. And, you know, I said on the United stand last night, I'm starting to enjoy That's Football a hell of a lot more. And I'm definitely enjoying the podcast, which is a general football outlet. I sort of get frustrated that when I get called up to go and talk sport, it's always talking about Manchester United, because I think I watch a lot of football with you. And I get my enjoyment away from Manchester United now. Manchester United's my passion. I love Manchester United, but they're a horrible team to watch, and they have been for a decade. I found myself last night watching Newcastle and going, oh my God. It was actually a pleasure to watch a team play good football. Like Newcastle, the way they were passing the ball around, it was fantastic. And look, I'm never going to sit here and say I enjoy watching Liverpool or Man City or Arsenal because they're rivals. But sometimes you do find yourself just sitting, watching and going, you know, I sort of respect how well they're coached. And I wish we could be something like that. United versus Liverpool will break records. Most goals scored for Liverpool in a single game and most goals conceded for Man United in a single game, says Jack. I mean, I hope I'm really, really wrong. I hope I'm really, really wrong. But I called Liverpool Man United weeks ago and said, if results start to go wrong before it, that game, I don't know whether they'd sack Ten Hag, but that could be the nail in the coffin. I don't know whether we'd sack him after that game. I think that would be massively premature. But I do think, because he's already lost 7-0 at Anfield, if we get pummeled again, you'd sort of go, he's going to lose. He's going to lose a lot of support for that, isn't he? It's not a good game for Man United, and it's not coming at a good time for Manchester United as well. Trent Alexander-Arnold getting a lot of credit. Obviously scored 2 goals today, 2 big goals as well. But a fantastic afternoon in the Premier League, for, as we've said. Bournemouth getting a draw against Aston Villa, or Aston Villa getting a draw at Bournemouth. It was the 90th minute when Watkins got the equaliser. Chelsea 3-2 against Brighton. They were 2-1 up at half-time, but they had Gallagher sent off, so they made it 3-1. Brighton got a late second goal, but couldn't get the equaliser. Nearly got a penalty, but it was quite rightly ruled out because it hit the head and not the hand. Liverpool 4-3 against Fulham. They were 3-2 down with 10 minutes to go, Liverpool at Anfield. They turned it around. A winner from Trent Alexander-Arnold, and 3 points is 3 points. Whether they've had to work for it hard or that it had been a comfortable win, it's 3 points. Look, Arsenal beat Wolves yesterday 2-1. Could have been a lot more comfortable. It wasn't, but you get the points, you take the points. A win is a win. And then West Ham completing the 2 o'clock kickoffs with a 1-1 draw against Crystal Palace, which probably doesn't help either team, to be honest with you. City are going to win this, mark my words, says Kai. Well, make sure you subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. We're in for a massive game this afternoon. We've not really spoken about the Manchester City and Spurs lineups. Suffice to say, Spurs are going to concede a few goals today. Let's start off with Man City. There was some rumour that Rodri was injured in the warm-up. I haven't heard anything about that. He's in the team. It's Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Vardy, Akanji, Rodri, Alvarez, Bernardo Silva, Foden, Doku and Haaland. On the bench, Grealish is back, but Kovacic, Stones, Aki, Phillips, what a bench they've got. And then Spurs, well, you know, they'd probably find a better bench from IKEA because they've got injury problems. Look at their back four: Vicario, Porro, Emerson Royale, Davies and Udogie. I mean, the fact that he's got... got 2 fullbacks at centre-back is terrifying. Basuma back in is good for them. Lo Celso, Johnson, Kulusevski, Gill and Son. They've obviously got... I mean, they used to have that... Well, I don't know what's happened to that Sarr. Is he another injury player? Because you look at the bench for... I mean, I don't know why he's not playing Højbjerg. I mean, maybe Lo Celso, you know, I don't know. He's got Højbjerg on the bench. Richarlison is on the bench, interestingly. But the rest of it, Dorrington, Donley, sound like places in England villages, really, more than footballers. Velez, De Santiago, Austin, Forster, Skip, Højbjerg, Richarlison. It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for Spurs today. Yeah, and I watched Villa last week against Spurs, and yeah, the back line of Spurs is going to be a big problem. Henry says it looks a bit shit. Mark, I lost my dad due to cancer, says Cujo. Thank you for keeping my mental health up and saving me by being open about mental health. Cardiff City fan. Cujo, really sad to hear that about your dad. Obviously, that's a difficult time. I hope you and your family are doing okay in what are not okay circumstances. But thank you very much for sharing your message. And obviously, this community is for everybody. And I'm glad that it helps in a little way. And thank you very much for sharing that with us. Nice to see some lovely comments in the chat as well. Cardiff City fan, you see. A lot of people get involved on here, and a lot of people are very welcome on here. Thank you very much. Right, we've still got 15 minutes to kick off here. I'm still sort of taking a breath from what has been an amazing afternoon. If you're just checking in, Liverpool came back from 3-2 down with 10 minutes left to win 4-3 at Anfield against Fulham. You know, one thing we haven't said, we've been very complimentary of Liverpool, and the mentality to win that game is big. But let's give a compliment to Fulham. I think Marco Silva at Fulham does a very good job considering the players that they've lost, specifically the guy who went and played in Saudi Arabia for the money, Mitrovic, has been a big loss for Fulham. So I think that, I do feel for Fulham because I do think they're a very hard-working team, but they just don't have the goals. And today they've scored 3 goals and still not won against Liverpool. But well done to Fulham. They played their part, and we don't always acknowledge that. But obviously Liverpool have had too much for them today, and it's a great win for them. Kind Killer says, I'm fuming, Mark. I'm a Brighton fan, once again losing points due to refereeing decisions. I don't think I can take this every week. I mean, I don't know what's gone wrong in the Brighton-Chelsea game, because I've got to be honest, I was watching Palace West Ham doing some other stuff, and I was sort of keeping an eye on some of the goals where I could find them, but there's things I've missed. And I just want to say as well, though, I'm a massive fan of Brighton, and I looked at their team today. No Matoma. They played Thursday night. They're through to the knockout stage of the Europa League. They've had so many injury problems. Chelsea don't play in Europe. They've had all week off. You're at Stamford Bridge. I think that's a good result for Brighton. I think to go there and not get battered, it really shows that, I think Brighton I'd love Brighton to keep winning, because I think they've had such a challenging season, and they don't have the resources of everybody else. And I hope they haven't been robbed today. I haven't seen it. But Rise of the Phoenix says you're a massive fan of Brighton, ? Yeah, that's football, mate. This is not the United Stand. I've got nothing against Brighton. I think they are a pure football club who do things the right way and are underdogs. And I think most people, I say this on the podcast every week, I think most people like and respect Brighton. I haven't got a Brighton support. I'm not in the Brighton Supporters Club. I haven't got a Brighton shirt, but I like what Brighton do, and I like what Brighton represent, the same as I like what Brentford represent. I don't have a second team. I love football. That's why I do stuff like this. Manchester United's my club, but I do like Brighton. I want them to do well. I think that and I think they've had a lot of injuries. I don't know why. I don't know why people get so stressed about that. I mean, to me, it's rivals, not enemies, anyway. And I watch Man United every game for the last however many decades, and I've had good years, I've had bad years. For the last few years, we've been shit to watch. And, it's not like being married and, you're not getting any anymore, so you go looking for it in your car. I mean, that's disgusting. But I think in a footballing sense, if you're not getting the satisfaction from your team, you're always going to be loyal, but you've got to find it somewhere else, haven't you? And I think that I find it on That's Football, watching other teams play. I found it yesterday. I mean, I hate to say it, but Newcastle were just... There was something... I think that's the first time... I think that's the first time in a long time where I've watched Manchester United and been in awe of how much better the opposition are than us. I'm sure Man City have done it. I'm sure Liverpool did it last year, but I'm never going to sit and respect and enjoy Liverpool or Man City or Arsenal taking us apart. And I don't know why, I didn't enjoy Newcastle, but I just thought the way that they played, there was just something quite admirable about it. But there we go. It is a proven sign of champions elect to come through bad days and still win. Well done, Liverpool, says Monkey. Yep, exactly. Exactly, I agree. I agree. Hi, Mark. I just wanted to ask you if you think Spurs has a chance today against City, says Philly. I would love Spurs to have a chance today against Manchester City. I think a lot of us would like that. Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, Villa fans, basically the whole of the footballing world, I think, would love to see that. But if I'm being completely honest, I just don't see it. We all know football. We all enjoy watching football. And I think that when you look at it logically, Man City, I think the best thing about this weekend is that Liverpool and Arsenal have found a way to win. I mean, Arsenal should have won a lot more comfortably. And they keep the pressure on Manchester City, because Manchester City today, this game a month ago would have been a cracker. Because of the injuries and the lack of squad depth that Spurs have, it's a difficult game for Spurs now. I mean, what is it? 4th loss in a row if this doesn't go their way. Look, never say never. We've seen the Brentfords, we've seen the Crystal Palaces go to the Etihad and win in recent years. Never say never. It can happen. And Man City do concede goals. We saw it in the Champions League midweek, and they put quite a strong team out. But I think it's going to be very, very difficult for them. And look, football is football. We can't pretend that there aren't the opportunities for shocks. Of course there are. Football is football, as I said. But on the other hand, there is obviously a real opportunity here for Manchester City to send a statement out. And I do feel for Spurs, though. I do feel for Spurs, because I think that if they'd played Man City a month ago, they may have well been able to give them a game. But you lose Maddison. You lose your 2 centre-backs, Van der Ben and Romero. And I know that's only 3 players, but it's a lot of players. It's a lot of players for City to lose, for Spurs to lose. And I think they're going to struggle. I think they're going to struggle tonight. Their defence just isn't very good. I mean, I don't think that what's his name is very good anyway. What's his name? Emerson Royale. I'd rather have a chicken royale at centre-back from Burger King. I don't rate him at right-back, and I certainly don't rate him at centre-back. And you're up against Erling Haaland. I mean, we watched Man City play Liverpool last week, and Van Dijk and, was it Matip, lost Haaland. They switched off and they lost him. I just don't think Ben Davies and... I mean, look, I've got Erling Haaland in I haven't had a look at my fantasy Premier League, actually. Let's have a quick look. I don't see a clean sheet here. But let's search for positives, because I'd love to be the niche hipster if Spurs win here, who goes, So I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I fully expect, I think there's a 90% chance that Man City win this game. But if Spurs were to win it, look, they've got to be clinical. And on the break with the likes of... Oh, that Santa looks a right dick. Santa in light blue. He looks like a Smurf with a blood disease. He looks a right prat. I've never seen anything more repulsive than Santa in light blue. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. That looks absolutely stupid. Why do Liverpool have so much luck and not United's, Marcus? Because they're trained better, because they're coached better, and their players have a better mentality. If Man United went down 3-2 against Fulham, they would bottle it. He does look like a Smurf with a blood disease. See, you can't script this. Loads of people copy me, writing stuff out. I want to be like Goldbridge. I want to be like Goldbridge. You can't script Smurf with a blood disease. How would I know he was going to come on? Fancy Premier League at the moment. Wow, Colwell got me a goal. 2 points for Areola. I've got to get rid of him. Colwell, 7 points. Saliba, 1. Maguire, 1. I've got Son playing. I've got Haaland, captain. Ollie Watkins got me 9. Evan Ferguson got me 7. Salah got me 5. Saka got me 8. Palmer got me 1. Lascelles on the bench again with 6. I've benched him 2 weeks in a row. I'm a prat. He's a prat. What a prat. Watkins got bonus points. And Colwell... No. Who got the bonus points? Enzo. Not Colwell. Thiago Silva. Shit. Didn't get any bonus points there then. Surely Watkins got some... Watkins got 2 bonus points today. Have they added them on? Minutes played 2. He's got more points to go on there. So I've got Son and I've got 36 points. I've got a few bonus points to go on. And I've got Son and Haaland captain to come. So let us know how you're doing on your FPL. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please do subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, I normally do match reactions to big games, and there's been some big games today with Liverpool and Chelsea, but obviously those games have just finished and this is going live now. So I'll have an all-encompassing match reaction 10 minutes coming out tonight at about 7 o'clock. And I'm on the United Stand at 8 o'clock talking about what's next for Manchester United after another not crushing result. I mean, we got beat 1-0, but there was a lot more behind that. I'll tell you what, I think this green suits me. I really do. Oh, you know what I was thinking about today as well? This chair is a Secret Lab chair. They don't sponsor me. So if anybody knows any good chairs, like gaming chairs or anything like that, I was thinking today, I'll give you this for free. This is Goldbridge being creative, right? I sit on a chair every stream. Every stream I sit on a chair, right? Somebody who makes chairs should go, we need to sponsor Goldbridge, because he sits on a chair all the time. Now, 1, that would make a great sponsor, but 2, I also tell people to swivel on it. So not only do I sit on a chair all the time, but I tell people to swivel on it. So you could sponsor the stream as a chair, and then I can go swivel on it. If you want to swivel on it, swivel on this. You see? I need someone in PR. I need someone in PR because there's some videos I want to do as well. 2024. It's all coming in 2024. Just get an IKEA wooden stool, says Simon. Yeah, that would destroy my back. That would destroy it. This match is going to be torture to watch. Actually, as an Arsenal fan, I would love to see City rip Spurs apart, but the points we could really do with a gap at the top, says Danny. Well, look, all I'm going to say is this weekend, well done to Liverpool and well done to Manchester, well done to Arsenal. I hate to say that, but that you've got to keep winning. And I think that you look at Man City and you know they're going to beat Wolves and you know they're going to beat Fulham. But for Liverpool and Arsenal, they're not and have not been those teams for, a while. And that you've got to win those games. I don't look, I might be the History Channel, but I've seen Man United win a lot of titles. And where people make mistakes on title races is they go, it's the games against Man City and Liverpool where the title will be won. It never is. It never is. The games where the titles are won, and it used to happen to United under Sir Alex, there'll be a stupid home game against Stoke or an away game against Bolton where you just mentally don't turn up and they score. And, they're suddenly playing the game of their lives and you're losing or you're drawing with 5 minutes to go. And it's those games that win titles. What Liverpool have done today against Fulham without Alisson, those are the games that you look back on, but that people don't look back on because they move on from them really, really quickly. And they'll go, if Arsenal win the league, they'll look back at the the Emirates when they beat Man City and go, that was the game that won us the title. When actually, it probably will be different games where you weren't at your best and you won 1-0. And if Liverpool win the league, they'll probably go, well, it was that game at Anfield where we beat Arsenal before Christmas, or it will be that point at the Emirates, at the Etihad after the international break where they were all over us, but we got that late goal from Trent. But actually, it won't. It'll be games like this. It'll be games like Fulham today, because they're always the ones that, if everybody could beat home and away, everyone outside the top 6, then everyone would be posting 85 points. But they don't, because they drop points in those games. And it's something that players don't appreciate, but managers are very aware of. Even players fall into the trap, and that's why they drop points. We are very close to the start of this game. We're very excited about the start of this game. Make sure you smash a like and subscribe to That's Football. You're all very, very welcome here. I think it's going to be one-way traffic, but what I will say in encouragement to Spurs is you're not getting a clean sheet, so you've got to score goals. And if you score goals, you've got a chance, because they can create chances, Spurs, but they can't afford to miss them. They've got to be clinical. Do you think Erik Ten Hag is any better than Ollie, says LP? I mean, I think anybody who thinks that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a better coach than Ten Hag really needs to go and take up knitting. That's just sensationalist claptrap. I mean, it's nonsense. Solskjaer was a dreadful coach. He got away with playing without fans in grounds for a year, and then as soon as the fans came back, it was the players bottled it because they can't. Man United players are absolutely fine when the pressure's off and there's no fans. But as soon as you put fans back in, the United players drop it, and Solskjaer lost his... As soon as the players realised that Solskjaer wasn't a very good coach, they down tools. It's the players. Man United's problem is not managers, it's the players. I've played the game. Right, let's get ready to rumble here. Referees around, about ready to kick it off. Bernardo Silva, what a player he is. Well, it's over to Man City. Arsenal have won. Liverpool have won. Spurs against Man City at the Etihad. We're up and running with the timer there. And as you can see, the beautiful Christmas tree behind. The real Christmas tree, which I'm just very, very happy about. Right, let's get focused on this. Right, here we go. Who's your favourite championship team? I don't really know, you know. I don't really know. I obviously don't care. Anyway, let's have a look. Man City starting off with the ball, of course. Don't like that Spurs kit, by the way. Horrible. It's a horrible kit, isn't it? What colour is that? Is that one of those colours where you think it's brown but it's pink? What colour is that kit? I don't even know. It's very ugly, says Headliner. Empty seat FC, says Frank. Surely they haven't. Surely this isn't. They haven't got empty seats here. Everybody loves to go and watch football in December. Here's a ball out to Doku. Jamie Hunt says Brighton were robbed. Corner here to Man City. Be interesting to see how Ange approaches this game as well. Does he play front foot football or does he sit back? Captain Monopoly says, should have done a Liverpool-Chelsea watch-along, Mark, not Arsenal. Yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Oh, thank you very much. The only cup Manchester United are going to get the name on this year. That was harsh, but it's my club. Nothing happens with the corner there. Vicario. Well, I think that would have been given as a goal, actually. Akanji got a right good jump on him. I did write down, I'm just thinking about, if you listen to the podcast, Goldbridge, Isaac, Diaby, Diaz, Sterling, and Mbumo. I've had a right mare. I haven't got any. They were my 5 picks to score this weekend. Isaac, Diaby, Diaz, Sterling, and Mbumo. Alisson clean sheet, which was Kelleher. Akanji is my defender. I've had a right nightmare there. Fucking hell, that's terrible. Mr. Level Up says, how was Brighton robbed? The Mini Kale says, I listened to the podcast in the bath. Thank you very much. How are you going to sack another manager? United will never succeed. Never give time to build and succeed to spy. Exactly. We need to sack... I don't want to talk about Man United massively because we're watching a different game, but Man United need to sack players, not managers. How can you have Martial, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, McTominay, Maguire? How can you have 6 players who are playing regularly for Ten Hag who also played regularly for Ollie and Ranić. You know, at some point you need to get the hint. There's certain players who just shouldn't be at the football club anymore. Rashford. Didn't I say Rashford? I meant to say Rashford. I think I said Maguire twice. One. There's 6 anyway. A lot of people talking about Liverpool, Fulham. Fantastic turnaround for Liverpool. I hate to say that, but although I do keep getting asked this question, who would you rather win the league, Man City or Liverpool? I'll run the poll. I imagine the well, I don't know. I don't know what Arsenal fans would think. Who would I rather win the league, Man City or Liverpool, is a really difficult thing because I don't like Liverpool. They're our biggest rival. But I can't stand Man City. Shot from Doku, Vicario. Why did they let... What are they doing defensively, Spurs, here? Vicario makes a save. It's going out for a corner, but Porro and Royale have got plenty of time to stop it going for a corner. And they watch it like a couple of prats going, oh, okay, are you going to kick it? Like Laurel and Hardy. Why don't they keep it in? Terrible. Man City with a cross again. They're getting really tight on Vicario. Well played by Gill. Now, Spurs. Nah, it's a terrible ball. But Son, he's got there. He's got there. Go on then, Son. Goal! Son! Get in! He's in my FPL. Love it. Yes. 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 We've got lift-off. Get in. What a goal by Son on the break for Spurs. He's the guy. He's in the FPL and he's scored a goal on the break. I tell you what, if you're a Man City fan, you wouldn't be happy with Doku here. Forget the name Doku. More like fuck up. I mean, he's meant to be quick. Son kills. I mean, I suppose it's the lack of defense. I don't know what Doku's just been absolutely done there. For a quick guy, he's been absolutely done. Look at that. Son just bullies him and then he's got no recovery place. Son put the nitro on there. See, Son was basically, look at my arse as it moves away. Lovely goal. 1-0. Get in. What a start. I mean, look, I still think there's a long way to go. You can almost score too early. That's a great start, though. Son. FPL points. You know what? I was very surprised there. The only thing I could put it down to is fantastic break by Spurs as well. They have to be clinical in those situations tonight. But the only thing I can put it down to is just Doku's inability to defend. It reminded me of Rashford against Forest at the start of the season, where you leave these players at the back because they're quick, but they haven't got a bloody clue what they're doing defensively. Because Doku should deal with that. He's quick. He's the favourite to get there, but Son does fantastically well. Angus says, was it a good goal? Well, if I told you, yes, it was a fantastic breakaway. Really, really good breakaway from a corner from Man City. Really intelligent play. I don't know who got the assist for Son. Was it Kulusevski? Keeper needs to save it, says Finlay. You might question the goalkeeper, yes, but... goal for Man City, 1-1. That didn't last long, did it? That didn't last long. I think it might be a Son own goal. Oh, fuck off. It was a Son own goal as well. So that's great. He gets FPL points and then he goes and scores at the other end. Oh, don't believe it. Don't believe it. We need VAR here. There won't be any VAR though because it's an own goal. I mean, Vicario dives. He ain't never saving that, is he? Yeah, a lot of people saying Spursy in the chat. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do is score a goal and then go and concede a goal straight away. An own goal as well. But look, let's hope for more. Kulusevski playing in a central role today. City don't need any help, Matthew, but they get plenty of help, don't they? Fucking red cards that don't get given. Penalties that weren't penalties. Offsides that weren't offsides. Lucky own goals. Cody says he's got Son captained. What does that mean? I'll tell you what it bloody means. I always think if you score an own goal, that should be bonus points as well, but it won't be. So at this moment, Son has 4 points. 5 for his goal, 1 because he started the game, and a -2 for an own goal. Will had him on Goldbridge, says Ant. Yeah, it's not been a good week for me on Goldbridge. We'll leave that for the podcast. If Son scores again, is it a hat-trick, says Lively? I think technically it is, but not in the conventional sense. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. You're very welcome on That's Football, the biggest and best football channel. You know, somebody said to me today, really interesting. I don't agree with this, so I probably shouldn't say it. But we're only 100 subscribers away from 67,000, by the way. So please do subscribe. Get involved. You're very welcome. And don't forget my weekend review match reaction is coming out at 7, where we'll summarise all the games. Phil Foden, nearly another goal. Vicario does well. This is going to be tough. Either or, Man City or Liverpool to win the league. 52% have gone with Liverpool, by the way. Oh, well, another mistake. Haaland. Oh, just about to turn away and say he scored. He's missed a sitter. Sitter. That is a big, big chance. I don't think Pep Guardiola can believe it. Spurs trying to play out from the back. Mistake by Chicken Royale. And Bernardo Silva squares it to Haaland. He's basically got an open goal because Ben Davies doesn't know how to mark him. And he really should score. That's a massive chance. Thoughts on Liverpool's comebacks, as friends asked. I mean, we have already spoken about it, but that's what title races are made of, winning those sort of games in those circumstances, of course. Oh, just Keevan says, what did the person say? Okay, so basically, somebody said to me I think it was on the Watchalong yesterday. I just didn't get to read it, but it got me thinking last night. They said, technically, That's Football is the biggest Arsenal channel in the world. And I thought, well, we're not an Arsenal channel, but what they were saying is we get a lot more people watching our watch-alongs for Arsenal than any other Arsenal fan channel. And I thought, well, no, we don't want to be club specific. That's what we're all about. But we'll definitely be the biggest Man City fan channel because, let's be honest, they probably haven't got any, and if they have, they ain't got any fans. But no, I think it's amazing what we've built, especially this season on That's Football. I absolutely love it. And I love the fact that we get Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans. You won't get Man City fans, Newcastle fans, Chelsea fans getting involved in the community. It's a very innovative time for That's Football, and you're very welcome. I think it's a certain type of football fan that watches these shows. The rivals, not enemies fan, I think, who loves football and watches a lot of football. Because I think a lot of football fans these days, that's got to be a yellow card. That's a body check. That's a body check. This referee's rubbish as well. Look at Bernardo Silva shoving him off. The referee going, come on, let's just play the game. Let's just play the game. Fucking rubbish, this referee. Already is getting on my tits. But yeah, I think it's what That's Football is all meant to be is just for those people who, you know, support different clubs but watch football and enjoy football. And I think that's what we've built here. Hold on a minute. Which pretentious designer decided wet clay was a good colour for a football kit, says Nick P. Yeah, he doesn't like the Spurs kit. Same referee from the Tottenham Liverpool game, apparently, says Ultra. Man City get away with a lot of fouls. 94 says, what are your favourite football YouTube shows? Podcasts. I do listen to, if they've got a good guest, I do listen to Stick to Football. I like Ronnie O'Sullivan and the Beckham one. I will listen to them. I don't listen to it every week, but if they have a good guest, I will listen to it. I mean, they've got amazing budgets to get amazing guests. That's, you know, I'll give them credit there. I don't really listen to anything else. I used to listen. I mean, I'm on the football fill-in, so I probably would listen to that because Watto's really interesting. But I obviously hear it firsthand. Here's Haaland. Man City are up for this at the moment. Abraham says, Mark, do a poll on who's more in need for a true number 9 for the January transfer window, Arsenal or Tottenham? Okay. Well, I'm going to throw in Chelsea as well. Man City are relentless here. Bernardo Silva, crap cross. I think it's set up, isn't it, that Spurs are going to counter-attack. And I think that's probably their best way to go about it. This ref's shit. How can he say that that ball went out? There's no fucking technology to do it, mate, and it didn't go out. This is what pisses me off about referees in this country. Man City shout for something and they fucking get it. That ball didn't go out. And he goes back and gives a throw in. He's got no fucking idea if it went out. No idea. And it didn't look like the whole ball went out either. I hate this bullshit. Man City get away with so much because they just shout at referees. You see Rodri last week? I think it was against Liverpool last week, screaming and shouting for a handball in the box when it doesn't go anywhere near the hand. Hitchin says, I'm a Redmen veteran, but for any non-Liverpool game, you're my man. Love the channel and you're a great commentator. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Have you ever thought about doing watch-alongs with guests from different clubs, says Jones? I have, but I was literally thinking about this a couple of weeks ago, and I get a lot of offers to do it, but I think if I did watch-alongs with, say, an Arsenal fan or a Liverpool fan, then it becomes about that and our back and forth instead of this, which is our back and forth. You know, I feel that you are a massive part of this show because that's what we do. There's plenty of watch-alongs out there where it's 2 or 3 people chatting with each other. There's nothing new or novel about that. It's basically match of the day, watching a game, isn't it? You know, you have 2 or 3 people talking about the game. Whereas what we do is unique. And I don't think I'd get the same banter and comedy and, you know, conversation topics without doing it with one other person. All you'd get is, I'm a Liverpool fan. I fucking love Liverpool. And then I'm meant to go, I'm a Man United fan. I fucking love Man United. Oh, take that. Hold that. And then they score. Hold that. Hold that. I mean, in fact, let's be honest, it'd just be a Liverpool fan going, hold that. Hold that. But I don't watch football like that. You know, if Liverpool score, I can be very critical of Manchester United. So I don't need to do it with another fan. I've got all you lot. Hi, Mark. Have you heard the issue in the Euro draw, says Matt? No. Which team gets most views on That's Football, says Sean? I'll let the chat decide. I don't know. I don't statistically keep an eye on anything like that. I never have. I'm not interested in that. I never have with the United stand. I mean, if you ask me how many people we peaked at watching last night, I don't know. I don't keep an eye on it. Will you be back on the touchline soon, says Drinson. I've got a few things planned in 2024. Yeah. 73k yesterday, says Abdul. There we go. Let's get rid of that. I like this comment from Henry. He says, Julian Alvarez would be a terrific number 9 at any other club if he was given the striker berth. Well, I think he's a very, very good signing for Manchester City. Cross comes into the box. Spurs on the attack at the moment. Kulusevski is still in the box. Slips it in. Pedro Porro, another corner. Alec Williams says, if you look behind the goal, there are actually empty seats. I tell you what, I don't know what you've been doing today. I've had a lovely weekend, and I almost feel guilty when I say I've had a lovely weekend because I'm quite a pessimistic person. You might have picked up on that. And I almost feel if I say I've had a good weekend, my dog's going to get run over or something like that. So I'm never very good at, you know, saying it was really good because I always feel that it will be balanced by something bad. Why is not Malacia playing for United anymore, says Marcus. He's injured. But I've had a good weekend this weekend. We put all the lights and the trees up over the weekend, which has been good. It was really cold and frosty yesterday, which is nice. I've watched some good stuff on the TV. I mean, apart from Man United, I mean, I suppose that's the balance, isn't it? You don't need to do anything bad to me, God. United yesterday, that's enough. But this morning, did the morning show on the United stand, went for a long walk, and then went to a lovely cafe for a full English breakfast. Came back, built a fire, watched the 2 o'clock games while Seb was playing Fall Guys next to me. And then live with you lot. So even got to get down the gym a little bit as well. So yeah, it's been a good day. Hope you've had a good day yourselves. Who needs a number 9 more? Chelsea 54%, Arsenal 27%, and Tottenham 19%. I'd sort of agree with that. Who needs a number 9 more out of Chelsea, Arsenal, Tottenham? I would sort of agree with that. Yeah, Dr. Kempo's laughing because I went to the gym. I'm from a generation where we idolised Liam Gallagher and Damon Albarn. They've got arms like breadsticks. When I say gym, I don't say pumping iron. I don't mean pumping iron. I mean treadmill. I mean a bit of cardio. I'm not interested in weights. I'm not from your generation that are obsessed with how big your bloody biceps are. I don't care about that. I don't want that. And let's be honest, I'm never going to get it if I did. For me, a bit of cardio work just to maintain my lovely figure. Lovely play by Son. Oh, it could have been an own goal. You've got to say Diaz. Oh, it wasn't Son. It was Johnson down the right-hand side. And another, I mean, look, Spurs can break. They can break. And it was a lovely play. I think he left Vardiel for dead there. And Diaz does well, to be fair. I think sometimes you block a cross and it could go anywhere. But I think actually here, he does do his job. Good break. Yeah, I'll come back to that in a minute. Kulusevski, and that goes out for a goal kick. But yeah, just really good question. Keep them coming in. Chelsea going for Osman in January, says Leroy. Look, Man United won't go for Osman. If Osman's playing in the Premier League, I'd be excited about that. It's a weird thing, isn't it? Because I've always, even from being a kid, certainly when I was at secondary school, I just get excited about transfers into the Premier League. So I remember when Klinsmann went to Spurs, I was really excited about it. Zola to Chelsea, really excited about it. So, you know, I'm not really, I suppose that's why that's football is what it is. United's my club, but I do get excited about, you can't buy everybody. And I think Osman in the Premier League would be fantastic. But I do think out of Chelsea, Arsenal and Spurs, who needs a number 9 more? I think they all need a number 9, but I think Spurs cope quite well without a number 9 because they've got fluid attackers with Kulusevski, Richarlison, Son and Brennan Johnson. I think Arsenal need a number 9, but when they've got Jesus, Martinelli and Saka, it works with Odegaard. Whereas I think with Chelsea, they desperately need more goals. They need more. I think Chelsea are more desperate than anybody because they need more goals. And I don't know whether Jackson's going to come good, but I don't get the feeling he's going to be an out-and-out Haaland or Lewandowski or Harry Kane. I think Chelsea need a number 9 of quality. I think Victor Osimhen fits that bill. And I find it amazing for the millionth time that Chelsea have spent over £1 billion in a year and not bought a striker. Liam says, do you think Nkunku solves the problem? I mean, Nkunku's not an out-and-out number 9. He's more of an attacking midfielder stroke false 9. He's not a striker. Now, that's not to say he won't become a striker, but he's not an out-and-out 9 traditionally from where he's been. He did it at Leipzig for a season, but it's not his natural position. Lovely play here. Kyle Walker will keep it in. Weird cross, but it's gone out anyway. Has Vardiel been a silent flop? 90 million euros and been questionable at times, says Bart. Well, I think with Vardiel, he's probably... Vardiel is probably... Well, he's not probably. He's out of position. He's playing more as a left-back, isn't he? And he's very young. He's only been in the Premier League, what, 4 months? Disease Gaming says, I like Vardiel. I'd love him at United. I think he struggles at left-back in the Premier League when he comes up against genuine pace. Kiss me under the mistletoe. Pour out the wine and burn a bread on the brown bow. This year you never know. Right now, Merry Christmas. I do love Christmas songs, and I think that one between Elton John and what's his name, Panta Pants, Sheeran. I think that's a great Christmas song. You don't normally get good Christmas songs. That's why we still listen to bloody stuff from the 70s. But I quite like that song. Off the pick, Jackson can't deliver. If you know, you know, says the Turo. And hi, Mark. Just wanted to say I love the content. As 2023 closes, have you had a favourite content creation moment this year? Christian Ford. Oh, mistake. Gill, pass. Why aren't you passing? Oh, Son's furious and he's right. Why didn't he pass that quicker? Oh, this infuriates me about the high-level footballer. Look at how the pass is there for 2 seconds. Now. Oh, and then he tries to make the pass. Yeah, prat. If I was Son, I'd be going absolute mad there. Why does he refuse the pass for 2 seconds? Good God, the Etihad is quiet, says Jace. Oh, this is what I mean about being clinical. You've got to play that pass. It infuriates me. Corner to Spurs. They'll clear it, though. GTA playthrough when it's out, Mark. Oh, yes, Stephen, definitely. Definitely Stephen the Hazard. There's Man City now, though. Look at the transition. Content creation moment of 2023. Well, there's still time to go. And I've got a feeling that my content creation moment of 2023 might be coming in the next 2 weeks on this channel. Hint, hint. So keep an eye out for it. I don't know what it's going to look like, but the principle of it is good. But I'd say so far, the podcast, so many people have said for years, do a podcast, and I just never did it because I wanted to do something that was, I wanted to come up with a concept, and we certainly did with Goldbridge Saves Football. So I'm really happy with the podcast. Obviously doing the Sidemen thing was great again. But yeah, I think that would be it for me. £50,000 for charity in a day was incredible as well. Let's not forget that. Here's Doku into the box. Oh my God! I was just about to say what a goal. I think he's hit 2 posts. Sons works better as a number 9 than a winger, and Spurs should focus on depth. Arsenal have enough players to get goals, and 9 for Chelsea is the missing piece, says Blicky94. And no, he hits the bar, not a goal. Hi, Mark. How about having a That's Football membership? Arsenal fan here, but I love your channel and content and want to show my appreciation for your hard work. We've already got it, Pimtel. Just click the join button. I'm sure we've already got it. If you want to support the channel, become a member and get a badge next to your name. I'm pretty sure we've already got it. I just don't mention about it. I'm just looking here. Yeah, we have. I'll put it in the live chat for you. And thank you very much for your support. We have a membership policy, not a policy. We have a membership on the United stand, which is a bit more prevalent. Basically, if you become a member, you get a little badge next to your name, like Gems has got there, and Stygian, and your badge number change, your badge colour changes every month, all the way up to the platinum one. Barrera says, what side men thing? Oh, managed in the charity game at West Ham. Jack Clark's a member. Ketchy's a member. Thank you very much. Well, Doku may have been at fault for the first goal, but he nearly scored a second goal there. I think Spurs have got to be quite happy here with half an hour to be 1-1, because City will score again at some point. The disappointment for Spurs will be having gone in front, not keeping it. Oh, what a goal. What a lovely goal by Man City. I feel like I've jinxed them there. That's too easy. Too easy for City there. Spurs defence is so shit. It's so bad. I mean, this is like a five-a-side goal. Look at where City win it here. This is like a five-a-side goal. Haaland puts it wide. Doku here. Look, no one goes with the runner, and then no one goes with Foden. It's so bad defending. It looks good from Man City, but look at how many Spurs players they've got back. That's just so bad. It's so bad. Defensively, that is absolute terrible. Look, it looks really good from City, but I'm telling you now, as a coach, defensively, you are absolutely fuming there. No one's gone with the runner of Alvarez. No one's marking Foden. And there's plenty of Spurs players back. If that happens on the break, you can deal with it. But when you're actually set up defensively, to not go with runners and then not be marking people, rubbish. Hi, Mark. Husband's bored. He doesn't like football. I've got the match on. Don't want Man City to win. Liverpool fab here. Love your channel, says Becky. Thanks very much, Becky. And Tilly, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. This was always going to be the problem. This was always going to be the problem for Spurs today. Their centre-backs are full-backs, and they're not very good full-backs. Emerson Royale is crap. I told you. You're better off with the Chicken Royale from Burger King. So, I'm not joking. I think he's a crap right-back. I think he's even worse at centre-back. Jem says you need to divorce your husband if he's bored of watching football and you're enjoying it. What does he enjoy? I think Nativity's on the BBC iPlayer. I'll go and watch that. Probably hates Christmas as well. Doesn't like football, doesn't like Christmas. Is he an accountant? Also, do you feel like there is a shortage of world-class number 9, says Abraham, which I find odd considering when you grow up, everyone wants to play a striker. I think this is a great point by Abraham. I think it's a great point. Everyone wants to be a striker, but there isn't an oversubscription of strikers, is there? That was the Doku shot that hit the bar and the post. Noam Ball, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much for joining. See, why doesn't... Yeah, he's booked Rodri there. About fucking time. They never get... I'm surprised he's booked Rodri there, because they don't normally book... This is the sort of foul City do and don't get booked for. So well done to the referee there, because they don't normally get booked. Look how gutted he is that he's been booked. And he misses the Villa game. Ah, swill on that. Swivel on that. Oh, I can't believe you booked me, ref. We don't normally get booked for those sort of things. We normally get away with cheating. Yeah, swivel on that. You're out. So that's a great bit of news for Villa. Random one. Who is the worst manager between these three? Gerrard, Lampard and Rooney, says Cag. Hold on. Alvarez. What a goal. Oh, he's at the post. Bloody hell. This could be a cricket score. This could be a cricket score. How you doing, Mark? SB123. I'm doing well, mate. Apart from City winning, but it was inevitable, really. What a shot by Alvarez that was. Looks like it's going in from behind, but then it just moves away slightly and hits the foot of the post. Vardiel has gone under the radar because he's just been constantly solid for us. No crazy mistakes to fire up the media to call him a flop, says Hessen. I mean, you're never going to be a flop in a Man City side anyway, are you? I mean, they can literally carry average players. They're that good. Who was the last flop at Man City? I mean, I don't think you end up being a flop for Man City. He just doesn't pick you if he thinks you're not good enough. Calvin Phillips is a flop, but he doesn't get picked. This is comical. Haaland shoots over the bar. This is comical. You know, Spurs should have... You know, can anyone remember Benny Hill? We You could put that theme tune to Spurs defending. They're so bad. Ange is so naive to continue with his playing style despite all of the injuries. Just shows why he's never achieved anything of note, says Steph. Is there a lack of number 9s because Mbappe and Haaland have raised the bar too high? Or is it because the game has changed, there's less focus on an out-and-out striker, says Hitchin? Well, I think being a striker in the modern game is quite a difficult job, isn't it? You can be in a graveyard shift as well. Maybe people want to be midfielders. Mark, do you find football nowadays more boring than before? Before it was more about individual brilliance. Now it's more like a chess game, says Tuan. I don't think we get as many good goals as we used to because I think players are coached to overpass and, you know, work the good opportunities. There's not as much individual flair anymore. I don't think people shoot from distance as much. I don't think people take each other on as much. And I think tactically it is all about that. But I think it can change. I think the next evolution of football will be developing players that can go past people because I still think that that is a skill that's not really utilised as much. And Man City are a very boring team to watch. I've said this for years. They're so boring. Kulisevsky's been booked. What's crazy? United is still in a title race, says Colin. No, we're not. We're not. We've just had a run of fixtures against teams that are shit and we beat them. That's definitely a yellow card as well by Udogie. I mean, this Udogie as well. He's a prat. He's already been sent off this season. He's got 4 yellow cards. I mean, he's the prat who got sent off against Chelsea, isn't he? He's got no discipline at all. Thanks for all the super chats, by the way. Thanks everyone who's tuning in. Random says, I'd love you if you would respond. Ten Hag needs to lower his personality and pick Varane. I get the Sancho thing, but the Varane situation is confusing. Glazers out, Ten Hag in. Well, we'll be talking about this on the 8 o'clock show tonight. What the future is for Ten Hag, because he's in big trouble, really, I think. With Liverpool on the horizon. Chelsea looked good today as well. I think Chelsea could give us a game at Old Trafford on Wednesday. We've got Chelsea, Bournemouth and Liverpool next couple of games. And if we lose 2 of those, it ain't good. Here's Son, good pass. Porro. Oh. Spurs on the break could still get a goal, but Man City are going to break a lot more than them. Would the lack of number 9s be due to the way wingers play now? They're more inverted forwards rather than old school crossing wingers, says the Beast. Well, you look at the volume of goals that like Rashford got last year, Saka gets, Salah gets. You know, there's a lot of good inverted wingers. If Ange's name was Marcelo, if Ange's name, the HPN says, if Ange's name was Bielsa, the media would be ripping him to shreds. The only reason they aren't is because Ange doesn't need a translator. There we go. Interesting. What do you think about that? Well, if Spurs lose this, which a lot of us think they will, then it'll be 4 losses in a row. And you can have injuries, but that's not an excuse to lose games. At the moment, it's 10 shots to 1 for Man City as well. 5 minutes to go to half time. And that's how it's looking statistically at the moment. 10 shots to 1. 92% pass accuracy. And 61% possession. Remember as well, our Stats Carousel is sponsored by OneFootball. If you want to get your latest breaking football news, transfer news and scores for free, download the OneFootball app through the link in the description or by scanning that QR code in the top right-hand corner. It does scan, don't worry, no matter how small it looks. And also, we give you the team stats. You can get the player stats on the OneFootball app. You can download it for free on Apple, Android, etc. But if you want to check out on individual player stats like passing success, tackle, etc., shots, you can do that on the app as well. Big shout out to OneFootball. Rodri is suspended for the Villa game. I'm gutted about that, Alex. I'm not gutted that Rodri is suspended, but I'm gutted about the Villa Man City game kicks off at the same time as Man United Chelsea. That's the trouble with midweek games. I'll tell you what, if that Brian Gill ever looked up, he needs to cut his fucking hair. He never sees the pass. He could have played Son in 10 minutes ago. He could have played Brennan Johnson in just then. He never lifts his head up. What do you think of the FA Cup draw, says Danny? We're going to do it at half time. Thanks, Danny. Yeah, but I'm annoyed about Villa and Man City because I'd love to watch it. I think it'd be a really interesting game. And I quite fancy Villa to get something, you know. They're so good at home. Man City are favourites, of course they are, but Villa are brilliant at home. And without Rodri, we know that Man City have lost a couple of games this season. So I would love to see it. What a ball by Son that is to Kulusevski. And that's a lovely ball into Gill, but Kyle Walker's never going to get done for pace, is he? That's the problem there. But it's on at the same time as Man United Chelsea, so it's annoying. I don't know why. Well, it can't be. It'd be nice if it was on Tuesday, because the Tuesday night games are a bit shit. I'm doing Luton Arsenal, but Mark, just got here. How's the game been, says Sebastian? Well, Spurs took an early lead and then instantly conceded from an own goal. And then it has been Man City, really. They've dominated. But Spurs look good on the break, but Man City are creating more chances. So you just can't see Spurs getting anything. Colin says, would you take Trent at United? He's not great defensively, but he's world-class going forward, says Colin. Well, United don't really attack enough to utilise Trent. That's the problem. But he's better than the fullbacks we've got, yeah. Barca 2009, Madrid 2017, United 99, or Man City 2023, says Tiger. Well, I'm always going to go United, mate. I'm always going to go United. Who've Spurs got next? Well, Spurs are drifting. I mean, if they lose this and United beat Chelsea, we're above Spurs. So Spurs, and they'd be down to 7th. Spurs are drifting. They're like a boat without a sail at the moment. They're at home to West Ham on Wednesday night, which is no guarantee. And then they've got Newcastle next Sunday, which I think will be a good game. We'll do a watch-along for that. And then they've got Forest away, which again will be difficult. Everton at home, you know, it's not a guarantee again. It's a bit like West Ham at home. Brighton away. Who knows? And then Bournemouth at home. So they've got a tough run of fixtures, Spurs. They got Burnley in the FA Cup at home. Look, I think Spurs need to try and do something in the FA Cup, don't they? I know the Carabao Cup didn't go well, but I do think they need to try and do something in there. Yeah, they've got Newcastle next weekend. West Ham midweek. Hessen says, we can't make average players look good, though. Take Mendy, Danilo, Nolito, Fernando, Angelino. We just don't get many flops because of our recruitment. Yeah, recruitment at Man City is very good. I don't think there's anybody out there that would deny that. We'll go through some of the FA Cup stuff at half-time as well. Rodri missing the Aston Villa game on Wednesday, by the way. I know we've mentioned that, but that could be quite big. Do you see a way back into this for Spurs? Look, Liverpool got back into it last week. If Man City don't if Man City don't open the gap, kill the game, then there's always a chance. But I would say Man City are more likely to score the next goal. So while it's 2-1, there is always a chance. I ain't going to deny that. So what I do need to do, I need a stretch. You gotta be cool, relax. What we got? Oh, we're nearly at half time actually. 3 minutes added on. Doku down the left wing. Up against Porro. The scary thing for United is that if we sack Ten Hag, what we're left with is those players. It's so depressing. We struggle physically and technically, says Total Football. I think that, I'm going to go into more depth with this at 8 o'clock on the United stand, but it's a great point, and everybody who is thinking about sacking their manager should always consider this. But Manchester United are a collection of failed manager squad. Ollie's signings, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Sancho, to name 3. There are still Mourinho signings at that football club. And if you sack Ten Hag, Anthony, Martinez, Casemiro, Højlund, Mount, Onana, it's a bit like Chelsea, isn't it? Chelsea have to stick with Pochettino for a period of time, because if they don't, in the space of a year, you've got Tuchel, Potter and Pochettino signings for the new manager to inherit. Like, patience isn't a guaranteed success, but it's really difficult. If let's take it away from United, if Chelsea were to sack Pochettino, what a minefield of a job that is. And of course, the new manager wants $500 million to be spent as well. As Linda says, it's a jigsaw with different pieces. Exactly. Exactly, Linda. You're exactly right. And that's half time. That's a stretch for me. You know what? What I will say about this game, and I think a lot of you would probably agree with me here, is that Spurs under Ange are, and it's really important to say this, Spurs under Ange are so much better than they were under Conte or Mourinho or Nuno. They're so much better. They're so much better on the eye. They're a more entertaining side to watch, and I will look forward next Sunday to watching Spurs play Newcastle, because it'll be a good game of football. They're so much better to watch, and I think that is a really important thing to say, because as football fans, we're always critical because we can see the gap. Spurs' defence against Villa and today has cost them. You think about it, it has. Now, I think if Spurs had Van der Ven and Romero in that team, then they probably don't concede the second goal because defensively it was a mess. So let's not be too downbeat on Spurs. They are way better this season than they were the last 2 or 3 years. So that's a positive. And their defence is shite, let's be honest. Emerson Royale and Ben Davies at centre-back. I'd worry about Spurs against Everton with that defence. I think Calvert-Lewin would have a meal. So, look, so far for Spurs, it ain't too bad to be 2-1 down at the Etihad against the best team in the world. As Jared says, they have a style of play. When Spurs attack, they look good. But can I just say this as well? It's not just Van der Ven and Romero. If you take out Gill and you put Maddison in the team, they've probably scored a couple more goals on the break. Gill, if he got his head up, he's like a bloody anteater, isn't he? He's always got his head in the ground. He's not looking up. So it's not just their centre-backs. They're missing Maddison as well. And I think it would be a much, much better game. So Spurs have got massive problems. And unfortunately for Spurs, they can't deal with the injuries that a Man City can, or a Liverpool can, and maybe an Arsenal can. So Spurs, let's be fair to Spurs, they're playing a lot better, and their season is falling apart because of injuries. It's very, very clear. What Spurs have got to do in January is back this manager and back this journey, because otherwise the same thing will happen. We're never going to move past injuries as this is not a blip in the Premier League, by the way. The Brighton injury crisis, the Newcastle injury crisis, the Manchester United injury crisis, the Chelsea injury crisis, the Wolves injury crisis, the Man City have had injuries, I suppose. This is going to keep happening. So what chairmen and CEOs need to do is get their managers' squad so that they can help, because Spurs a month ago would have given Man City a really good game, but they can't. They haven't got the depth. So that's where we're at with this. This was always going to be a mismatch. This is not the real Spurs against Man City. Would you take Taremi at United, says Mohammed? I think it'd be an interesting bench option, yeah. Injury crisis. We don't want an injury crisis, Tom, and I did say that, so you're right to say that. So yeah, look, I think Man City, as we were saying before, if you look at the stats, and don't forget, OneFootball, sponsor our stats carousel, download it for free, get all your latest breaking football news and live scores there, as well as the individual stats for each player, which I absolutely love. 64%, I mean, that, you know what, that's not bad for Spurs as well. 64% to 36%, that's not too bad considering this is Man City. That's not too bad. 12 shots to 2 is bad, and you'd fancy Man City to score the next goal. But if Spurs can just stay in the game, like Liverpool did last week, you never know. But next goal is probably going to be Man City, and then it will be game over. I do think that we've got to give Spurs a little bit of credit, because they are struggling because of the amount of injuries they've got. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way, bottom right hand corner. We're only 20 away from 67,000, so please get involved with That's Football. I've got a little 10-minute match reaction coming out at 7 o'clock tonight, discussing the Liverpool game, the Chelsea game, the Villa game, and this game, so keep your eye out for that. We've got daily content on the channel and a lot more to come. Got a really exciting bit of content coming up for you soon as well. We've had some really good stuff on this year as well. We had Jota on the channel, didn't we, a few weeks ago? And keep your eye out for that, because we've got a couple more coming soon as well. So lots of exciting stuff on the channel as we head into 2024, and lovely to have you as part of it as we continue to change the game. That's what we're here to do. I want to talk about the FA Cup. I want to talk about the FA Cup draw. Some of you may or may not be aware of it. City are still tied from last season. That's why they've dropped for points, says Ped. Well, Rodri out of the Villa game on Wednesday. I mean, I think for the good of the league, it would be fantastic if Man City just dropped a few more points. Man City's next few games, if you're not aware, obviously we know Liverpool are playing Arsenal in a couple of weeks' time. That's going to be a massive game, but what have Man City got that they could drop points? I think Villa on Wednesday night is the only realistic option for Man City to drop points anytime soon. It's at Villa Park. Villa at home, I think, have won 16 of their last games or something like that at home. Man City have then got Luton on Sunday, which they may as well, you know, that's 3 points, isn't it? Then they've got Palace at home, and then they're not playing till after Christmas, which is Everton away, Sheffield United at home. They've got some very winnable games coming up before they play Newcastle in mid-January. So Villa on Wednesday is quite big, really, in relation to this league title. Unless Spurs can get back into it now. I mean, let's hope so. But there was an FA Cup draw this afternoon that some of you may or not have been aware of. The FA Cup obviously generates a lot of excitement still. It's not what it used to be, but it's still exciting. And I think it's a really important tournament for a lot of teams now, because everybody wants to win something, and there's a lot of good teams out there. And third round of the FA Cup is always the most romantic, isn't it? It's the first week of January when these games are played. Saturday the 6th of January, that weekend. So let's have a look at some of the key games here. Arsenal-Liverpool is the pick of the draw. I mean, what a game that is. Arsenal against Liverpool. Interesting to see what teams both put out. But, I mean, how important is the FA Cup to you as an Arsenal fan or a Liverpool fan? It's the game of the weekend in the FA Cup. And I think that, you know, from Liverpool's point of view, okay, they've got the Europa League, and I think they're still in the Carabao Cup. So, but I still think to the FA Cup to Liverpool would still be a nice thing to win. And from Arsenal's point of view, you know, they're in the Champions League, they're not in the Carabao Cup, and they're in a title race. So again, it'll be interesting to see how intent both managers are in that, because I don't think you can just dismiss a trophy. And the FA Cup is more credible than the Carabao Cup. So I think it's an interesting tie. Chelsea got a home draw against Brentford. Let's go through it. Blackburn, Cambridge, Brentford, Wolves, Chelsea, Preston, Arsenal, Liverpool, Coventry, Oxford, Crystal Palace, Everton, another Premier League game. I mean, this is what pisses me off about the FA Cup, because we talk about what Arsenal and Liverpool are going to do, but I guarantee you now, Crystal Palace and Everton will put their reserves out. I never understand why mid to bottom Premier League clubs don't take the FA Cup seriously. They just focus on Premier League survival because of money. But why is it that you get Crystal Palace and Everton, and I'm being a bit unfair on them, but a lot of them do it. They don't take the FA Cup seriously. It's weird. EFC won't. Why don't you lower the difficulty marks as average? I'm still thinking through about that. Fulham at home to Rotherham, Gillingham at home to Sheffield United, Hull City at home to Birmingham, Luton at home to Bolton, Maidstone United, match postponed, I don't know what that's all about. Man City at home to Huddersfield, surprise, surprise. Middlesbrough at home to Villa, that could be interesting. That could be very interesting. Michael Carrick's Borough at home to Aston Villa, that could be a good game. Millwall at home to Leicester, Norwich and Forest, games to be confirmed. I think they've drawn, you know, games that need a replay. Peterborough play Leeds, Plymouth play Sutton United, QPR play Bournemouth, Sheffield Wednesday play Cardiff, Shrewsbury and Southampton to be confirmed, Stoke against Brighton, Sunderland against Newcastle, that's an interesting game, isn't it? Sunderland-Newcastle, bloody hell. Swansea against Morecambe, Tottenham against Burnley, Watford against Chesterfield, West Ham against Bristol, and Wigan play Manchester United. I don't even know what league Wigan are in now. I mean, Man United, we normally get a home draw, but actually that's quite good. That's quite an interesting game for United, really, because being away from home just gives it a little bit. You get Wigan at home at Old Trafford, it's boring, isn't it? At least there's a little bit of, a bit of an atmosphere for that. Is there a team in the past decade that can genuinely dominate City every game? I can't think of one, says Jace. No. They're in League One, Wigan. They're in League One. Okay, let's have a quick look at the league table for Wigan. You've got me intrigued now in the FA Cup. But Arsenal, Liverpool will definitely be there for that one as a watch along. League One is below the Championship, and Wigan are mid-table. So they're a mid-table League One club. Wigan Athletic. Should be straightforward for Man United, really. But nice to get a game away from home against a not very good side. Makes it a bit interesting. They've got an 8-point deduction as well, apparently. So where would they be in the league if they didn't have they had their league? Have they had their points deduction already? Let's have a look. If they didn't have their points deduction, they'd still only be 8th anyway. Yeah, they're not very good. They're not very good. Maidstone fan, we are 6th. Their side who beat Barrow, who are 3rd and in a title fight in League 2, says Fat Joey. Well done. And difference between Spurs and United, says David. I can see what Ange is trying to do, even though they are under the pump with many players out. They have a proper identity. However, I don't see that with Manchester United, says David. Yeah, I mean, the problem that Ten Hag has got at the moment is he's got a collection of players, and it's not speculation to say this. There is a collection of players at Manchester United that are toxic. Doesn't mean they're bad people, but they're toxic. Mentality might be toxic. Personality might be toxic. Their ability might be toxic. The definition of toxic, by the way, is this. I'll read it to you because I was reading it the other day and I can't remember it. The definition of toxic is very harmful or unpleasant and I think that very harmful is the word I talk about, because it's very harmful to have players that have a weak mentality in professional sport. It's very harmful to have players who aren't good enough in professional sport. And it's certainly very harmful to have players who are, you know, selfish and not team players in professional sport. And regardless of Ten Hag being at Manchester United, when you look at the situation at United, this has been going on for years. It went back as far as Moyes, really. It certainly was there with Van Gaal. It was certainly there with Mourinho. Man United have got players that are toxic, whether it's weak mentality, not good enough, or just very damaging within the dressing room. This did for Mourinho, it did for Ollie, it did for Rangnick, and it's doing for Ten Hag. It's really difficult. Now you look at Spurs at the moment at Spurs, and it might be new manager bounce, but you look at Liverpool, you look at Arteta, you look at Pep, you look at De Zerbi, you look at Emery. They don't have toxic dressing rooms. And if they do, it's minority. They can control it and they can still be successful. At Manchester United, there are toxic players who control the way the team performs. So Ten Hag is fighting a battle that he can't win because it was going on before he was there. And it's only getting worse. I think he can manage it. I think he can manage the situation better, but he can't eradicate it as a manager. This needs to be eradicated by the CEO or the owner. And the Glazers have never wanted to do that because they're only interested in money. So this is why fans wanted a full sale and the Glazers out, because we've known for a long time that changing the manager doesn't change anything. And there are United fans out there that go, sack the manager, but not one of them has given me on the United stand or on here a viable change of situation that's going to change it. You could bring Pep Guardiola and he's still got toxic players that are proven to be toxic, and he has to get rid of those players. So why don't you get rid of those players for Ten Hag? You know, I don't see the point in sacking a manager before you get rid of the toxic players, because the new manager's going to get rid of them anyway. So yeah, you've got the contrast between Spurs and Manchester United is that Manchester United have got so many toxic players, and at the moment Spurs don't have that. And there was a great comment from the Watchalong yesterday where somebody said the difference between Manchester United and Manchester City is if Manchester City sign a £50 million player and he doesn't work out, he's gone. Whereas at Manchester United, if you buy a £50 million player and he doesn't work out, he stays for 4 or 5 years. And it's true. So, you know, there's a lot that needs changing at Manchester United, and I don't think the manager change really changes anything. That's not to say he doesn't need to go at some point. I think Højbjerg's coming on here. So, back to the game here. Please do subscribe to the channel. We were closing in on 67,000. You're fantastic. I really enjoy the That's Football community, and you're very, very welcome. I'll talk about what games we're doing this week, actually, in a moment. But we're about to start the second half here, and you'd be silly to get rid of Ten Hag so early, says Hessen. I agree. Spurs about to kick it off here for the second half, and away we go. Mark, being recognised as one of the best teams in the world, why does City play such boring football? No wonder no fans. No disrespect, but it's an opinion, says Akil. What a terrible kick by Vicario. What a save by Vicario. I mean, Vicario kicks it out to Alvarez, who plays it to Haaland, who plays it to Bernardo Silva, who takes the shot, and then Vicario makes a great save. But this is just sloppy. Very, very sloppy. Is Haaland working out for City then, says Eureka. Of course he is. Of course he is. Do you think the situation will ever change at Man United, as Ben A? Well, we live in hope. We live in hope. But, you know, that's a prime example of where I think football's heading. And I'd love to know what your thoughts are in the chat. Where do you think football will be in 10 minutes? In 10 years? Do you think in 10 years' time we'll still be seeing teams playing out from the back and the opposition pressing high up the pitch? Or do you think football will evolve? Because I really do think there is an evolution of football coming. I think that the last 10 years, instigated by people like Pep Guardiola, has been about possession. Possession. But look at this again. Man City have nearly scored twice because Spurs are struggling to play through the press. And the principle of what Spurs are doing is to play through the press, even though we're giving up chances. I think there's an evolution of football coming because teams are getting better at pressing, and eventually you're going to hit a tipping point. I think the next evolution of football is individual flair, in the sense that everybody knows when you get the ball now, you're looking to play a pass. And I think the next evolution is expressive football, where you receive the ball, everyone's closing your passing lanes, you go past the player, and then suddenly no one knows what to do. And I think that individual flair in players to go past players is the antidote to well-organised pressing football. I think there is a tipping point. I don't think you can keep this. Every season, teams are getting better and better at pressing. And every season, we're seeing more and more mistakes from playing out from the back, that it will get to a tipping point where somebody goes, you know what? Screw this passing out from the back shit. It's costing us too many goals. I hope we see that anyway, because I'd be very bored if everyone's still playing the same way in 10 years. Nice play by Spurs here, but that's a nice ball into Son, into Kulusevski. Porro, Kulusevski. Happy birthday, Blake, says Void. Spurs having a bit of possession here, up in the final third of City. Robin says that would need to be implemented in the youth. I don't think it's. I don't see. Look, if it happens, I don't see that evolution coming from. What's he booking Højbjerg from there? Oh, he's just giving him a foul. I don't think the evolution will come from a coach saying we're suddenly not going to pass out from the back anymore and everyone's going to take players on. I think what will happen is the game is crying out for a Zidane. Even Paul Pogba used to do it, Gascoigne years ago. What needs to happen is there needs to be probably a midfielder who, when he gets the ball, is willing to take people on. Not all the time. You don't want to be too predictable. But there needs to be a player that comes through that's so good at it in the midfield. And then he needs to play for a team where a manager goes, yeah, you know what? Don't always pass it. Sometimes go at them. And it just, I mean, imagine if Spurs had a midfielder who was known for taking people on. That's going to make Pep think. It's going to make him think they're not always going to try and pass through us. He's a player that can actually, if he goes past Rodri, we're in trouble. So we've got to. That's what I'm talking about. Evolution of football is, you know, having a player in your team or a couple of players in your team that are capable of not always looking to keep the ball and play possession-based football. Pep is already doing the flair thing. That's why he has players like Bernardo and Doku. Yeah, it'd probably be. Look, just because Pep Guardiola has been the architect of possession-based pressing football over the last decade, certainly the most successful one, doesn't mean that Pep Guardiola is just going to sit there and watch his system crumble. He may well be the architect of the next 10 years. Of course, you may well be right. And certainly I agree that Doku, when he's in the team, is not really a possession-based footballer. In fact, he's just coming off for Grealish now, who at Aston Villa was 100% a player that took people on and who has adapted his game at Man City. I'm passionate about this because it's the football I like. I like people who take people on. I love it. I like players that get me on the edge of my seat. I think it's the most enjoyable thing about football, along with worldies. Might be a little taboo. Hope I don't poke anyone the wrong way, but do you think Garnacho or Mason has a higher skill ceiling, says Nigel? Well, I think it's Garnacho, because I think that Mason Greenwood, regardless of what happens to his career, he's playing for Getafe in La Liga, and he's lost 18 months of his career. So I would say Garnacho's ceiling is higher, because really Greenwood's probably going to lose 2 years of his development. If Greenwood had never had the issues, I might give you a different answer. DSM says, I'm thinking of switching teams. Life's too short, and I've never seen Man United lift a big trophy live. Yeah, but that's what supporting a team is about, mate. Because you know when they do lift a big trophy, if they lift a big trophy, it matters more. Here's a lovely play here. He might have a shot straight at the keeper from Brennan Johnson. Matoma is the business, says Emiliano. And what are your thoughts on the Euro groups, says Manchiti? I'm not really that bothered, mate. I said it yesterday. Somebody said, can you do a Euros watch-along draw? I was like, no, I just don't. I don't like international football, and I don't want to talk about international football when real football's being played. But when the season ends and there's nothing else to watch, I'll jump into that bubble 100%. I'm not a hypocrite, but I'm not interested in it now. I don't like international football. I was just looking at Brighton's injury list. I know a lot of people have got injuries, but. And I've got a controversial thing to say about injuries, but let me just tell you this. Man City are on the break here with Grealish. Into the box. Lovely cross. Just too high for Haaland. So close to being a goal. And City win a corner. Listen to this Brighton injury list. Esteban, Fati, Welbeck, Dawood, Dunk, March. Is Enciso back now? No, Enciso's still out. I think Matoma's out as well, isn't he? They've got loads of injuries. I thought it was bigger than that, to be fair. Who has been the best signing? Havertz, Mount or Kovacic, says Maxi. Kovacic, even though he doesn't play for Man City much at the moment, none of them have done particularly great. My controversial thing that I was going to say, Matoma played today. He didn't start, though, did he? I don't think he started. Matoma's back. He's back. Matoma's back. I'll double check. I didn't think I saw him in the starting lineup. Cross comes in for City. Cleared away. Yeah, he came on in the 57th minute. Son's on the break. He's up against Grealish, who's normally quite good in the defensive area. He's done well there, Son. And another stupid shot from Brennan Johnson. He's got to stop shooting, really. The controversial thing I was going to say is that Dan Burn was a big injury for Newcastle, wasn't he? And it was really sad to see him get injured. But I actually think they're better with Livramento in the team. And I know it's controversial, and we can do a poll on it, but I thought Livramento was fantastic last night, and I thought he played well in Paris as well. But we'll do a poll on it because Dan Burn's been a revelation for Newcastle. But I think, look, Dan Burn can't go forward like Livramento does, and I just think he's. And they've also got that Hall player as well, haven't they? But yeah, I just watched them yesterday and I thought, I was very impressed with him in Paris and he was brilliant again last night. And I thought, you know what? They have got injury problems, Newcastle, but the injuries they've got, apart from Botman, and Lascelles has done very well. Apart from Botman, I think they're doing quite well. Rahul, thank you very much, mate. I'm not going to get into any of that. The noise is because they want attention. I know the truth. Just ignore it. That's what I do. Livramento is an endless ball of energy, says Swift. I like Livramento. I mean, I remember when he was on loan at Southampton. But I was very impressed with him last night. And look, Dan Burn's done a great job at left back for Newcastle. Of course he has. But Livramento's I mean, look, he murdered Rashford. He made him look ineffective. And yeah. I thought Newcastle played really well yesterday. I mean, that Miley in midfield really complemented Joel Linton and Bruno Guimaraes really, really well. Lascelles has stepped in and done a good job for Botman. Tom Brady at the match, says ISO Magic. I don't know what Tom Brady's doing there. I know he's involved with Birmingham, but I don't know why Tom Brady's there. He was at Man United a couple of years ago when Ronaldo was there. I think Livramento had a bad injury, didn't he, when he was at Southampton, if I recall. Anyway, look. My opinion is top four. Newcastle, Liverpool, Man City and Arsenal from what I've seen so far. I'd like Villa to stay in the race as long as possible. I don't even mind Spurs getting back into it, but Mishari says, I'm a Newcastle fan. Dan Burn is 5 times better than Livramento. Well, if that's, I'll take your word for it, mate. He must be a bloody good player then. Thanks, Scars Music. It's the best way. I learnt my lesson with that about 5 years ago. It's a good lesson in life. Never go down to an idiot's level and get into an argument with them because they're a specialist in being an idiot. Have a great week, Paul, says Ian. Thank you very much. You too. 70% have gone with Livramento over Dan Burn as well. Do you think that's football elitism, though? Because Dan Burn's not an orthodox fullback. Drew Simpson's a Newcastle fan. He says, I think Dan Burn will struggle to get his place back. The great thing about Dan Burn, though, is if Livramento and Hall take the opportunity and fight it out for left-back, you just use Dan Burn as a centre-back. Problem solved. Because I'll tell you what, I think he is a centre-back, and if he can play left-back, he can definitely play centre-back. So you just shift him inside, and then you've got Lascelles, Botman, Burn, and Shaw. Then you've got full-backs, Trippier, Livramento, and Hall. I mean, look... Newcastle fan here. Livramento clears him. Thank you very much. Well, we've definitely generated a conversation, that's for sure. Jack Grealish misses the Villa game. Oh, is he doing it on purpose? What's the nationality of Livramento? He's English. Still only 21. Born in Croydon. His father's side of the family comes from Portugal and his mother is Scottish. He's played for England at all levels from under 15. So... Is there any more players that can miss the Villa game? This is good news for Villa at the moment. Plays for the under-21, says Gaz. I'll tell you what, it's not a good thing to be a fullback, is it, for England? You don't want to be a right-back for England, do you? Fucking hell. The competition there is incredible. I'll tell you what, though, 15 minutes into the second half, it's 2-1. I mean, do we dare to dream? I still think Man City are favourites to score. I mean, I think he's offside here. I think there's an offside anyway. Ow! Just hurt me bloody finger. Yeah, there was an offside in the build-up there. What's your favourite pie, says Blake? Well, people are going to start putting cream now because they think they're comedians. But I've actually got pie for my dinner after this. I've got chicken, homemade chicken pie. I really need to just go to the doctors and bite the bullet with my fingers. There's something wrong. It's the same injury to all three of them, though. I'm just thinking, like, rest would do them good. How can you knacker up three fingers with the same injury? It's just like when I knock them and on the bend, it really hurts. But I can bend them, and they're not bruised anymore. You can't. It's ridiculous that the same fucking fingers have the same problem. It's not. Jem says it's arthritis. It's not arthritis. It's injury. I made a save from Ben Foster and it killed my fingers. And Burn is very useful for the team. He doesn't attack as much, which allows Trippier to go all out on the right whilst keeping good numbers at the back, says Sam. Yeah. I think he will evolve into a good centre-back. Why don't you get a standing desk? I'm going to get a standing desk. If I get a standing desk, though, I'll have to fill the two shelves above that you can't see. Which I'm happy to do. Marcus has broken his wrist and he's got to have it reset. The great thing is we've got two. It's not the end of the world. Look, the longer Spurs stay in this, the better. I think Spurs have done quite well to keep this to 2-1 for 65 minutes, considering one of the goals was an own goal. They have got a lot of options on the bench. Don't sleep on Haaland, says Pal. He's in my fantasy Premier League team and he's captain. I'd have put... Oh, well, I would have fancied him to score today with the centre-backs being Ben Davies and Emerson Royal. Start, bench, sell, Raya, Vicario, Pope, says Daniel Higgins. I like these. I would start Raya. I would bench Vicario and I would sell Pope. And the only reason I would do that is because I am very aware that, you know, they're better than him at distribution than Pope, which is important in the modern game. Have you heard about the Jackson news? Says MH. If it's the one from yesterday, we spoke about it yesterday. Aaron says, get one of them desks that you can make it go up and down. Yeah, a standing desk. That's what they're called, Aaron. Well done, Ben Davies, stepping out from the back. Now Lo Celso into Son. I tell you what, we haven't really spoken about it. Here's Kulusevski in the box. And we should speak about it because it's absolutely pivotal in relation to tactical analysis of this game in particular. But the substitution of Bryan Gill at half-time by Ange was the sort of thing we crave at Manchester United, but we don't do. Manchester United yesterday were dominated from minute 1 in the midfield, and Ten Hag didn't change it at half-time. He didn't even take Rashford off at half-time. And yet, in a game of this enormity, then Ange is taking off a player at half-time to make a tactical change. And he was right to take Bryan Gill off, because even though he had a part to play in the first goal, they should have scored another couple of goals, and he'll know that. And he's changed it tactically. And we completely missed that. Well, I did. Mark, was that Christmas tree you were standing on next to? Was that the Christmas tree you were standing next to? Oh, yeah. Yeah. You cheeky get. Thomas, thank you very much for your super chat. Nomza says, who do you think will win the FA Cup? Well, I think you'd put Arsenal, Liverpool or Man City as the favourite. Man City won it last year. The big teams tend to take the cup seriously now, so I think you'd go with that. Look at this, though. I mean, look at this. This is what football is now. Look, you're passing it around your own penalty box under pressure from 3 or 4 players, trying to find your way through. Big B says start, bench, sell Rashford, Saka, Foden. At the moment, I'd start Saka. I'd bench Foden and I would sell Rashford. And that's just complete. It's sad for me to say that, but there's red tinted glasses and there's the truth. Here's Lo Celso. He might hit that. Oh my God! What a goal! What a goal by Lo Celso. He might hit it. He did hit it. He's bent it low in the corner. It's 2-2 in the 68th minute. And Spurs are back in it. What a goal that is by Lo Celso. He's moved into a more advanced position. This was the tactical substitution we were talking about at half-time. This is what good management is. Bryan Gill had a very mixed first half. Ange takes Gill off, moves Lo Celso into a more advanced position, puts Kulusevski back on the right wing and brings Højbjerg into next to Bissouma. And lo and behold, what happens in the second half? Son gives it to Lo Celso. He cuts inside. He bends it into the bottom corner. Ederson again should do better on both. Son gets an assist, but it's 2-2, and you've got to give Ange his credit there because he's made this change at half-time to push Lo Celso further forward, and it's come up trumps. Well done. 2-2. 2-2. And yeah, I've just tweeted it there. Ederson should actually do better on both shots. If it was an Arna, he'd get a load of credit. He'd get a load of blame. In-game management, says Michael. Exactly. Well, 20 minutes to go here. You'd still say that Man City will be favourites to go on and win it. But Spurs, you just don't know. Here's Højbjerg. Rodri keeps it in. Not very well. And gone for a corner. Oh, I tell you what, I'll bloody love it. I'll bloody love it if Spurs get something here today. I think they might need to score another goal to get it. I'd fancy City to get another one. Another corner here for Spurs. Whipped in by Porro. It's not very good, but it comes to the edge. Oh my God, he hit that one well as well. Lo Celso on the move. Tumblebee says, only joking, mate. Thank you, mate. I don't know what he said. Oh, yeah. He said about the Christmas tree. Let me close that poll about Livramento or Burn. 66% went for Livramento, 34% with Burn. If you've got a good either or, let us know. We can run another poll. Oh, imagine Liverpool and Arsenal fans. They'll be loving a draw here. I mean, I would love a draw. I think we all know Man City are favourites for the title. Every point they drop is big. Edge of the box. Oh, goal kick. I mean, I think that the tactical change by Ange at half-time has changed the game, not swung it into Spurs' favour at all. I still think Man City have been decent. But if you think about it, half-time, I think it was 10 shots to 2. And in the second half, it would be 5 shots to 3. So the game has changed. Grealish coming on killed City, says Majd. The game has definitely changed. And you've got to give Ange credit there. Long way to go still to get something out of this. But it's not been like the first half. Do you think they should review Haaland here for a red card? They're not going to, I don't think. No, they're going to make a substitution. The only reason I said that is I thought the referee was holding his hand up to say wait, which he was. But it's for a substitution. Phil Foden goes off for Lewis. Again, I think I like this Lewis guy, but I think that weakens City. I think they're better off with Foden on the pitch. Always very important to acknowledge that, remember, Man City haven't had Kevin De Bruyne. But I feel that Spurs are in this game at the moment. Tracy says, great show. Let's hope we have a good clear out and players in who plays for the shirt, not the paycheck. Get United great again. Says, it's going to be a good 8 o'clock show tonight. Tune in on the United Stand, actually. We'll be talking about what's next for Manchester United. And I certainly don't think it should be sacking another manager. You know, I'm getting more confident. Last 15 minutes, Man City haven't had a shot on goal and Spurs have had 3 and they've had 58% possession. There's been a game shift here. I bloody love it if Spurs get something. Nobody expected it. But what we did say, I did say at the start of the game, I'd give City a 90% chance of winning because of the defence that Spurs are picking. I would, but if Spurs are going to get anything, we said they needed to be clinical. And they have been clinical. I mean, that finish by Lo Celso, the finish by Son, they've took their chances well. And you've got to do that. You can't let them off. Doku or Saka, says Franco. Definitely Saka. Do you think City should get another goalkeeper, says Dragon? I've always felt Ederson's a little bit overrated. I don't think it's hard to play in goal for Man City if you're a decent goalkeeper. But, you know, Alisson is on a different level to Ederson. Well, we're in for a very exciting last 20 minutes here, no matter how you look at it. What time do you host TalkSport, Mark, says Cameron? 7:30 on a Saturday night, but I didn't do it last night because Man United were on. So, yeah, I'm back on Saturday. Here's Rodri, though, into Rico Lewis. Cuts it back. Oh, over the bar from Rodri. Intelligent cut back by Rico Lewis. Rodri, how many times has Rodri been the game changer for Man City over the last 12 months? Many times. Many times. And you felt it would be there. But he's just put it over the bar and wide. I thought that was a foul on Emerson Royale there. I really think the referee should have given that. But he seems reluctant to give fouls at the moment. Vicario goes long. Man City win it back. I think the game is going to shift in Man City's favour a little bit now, naturally. Obviously at 2-1, Spurs have got to chase the game. At 2-2 as the home side, Man City have got to push. So I think we're going to see, for the next few minutes, Man City start to create a few more chances. Here's Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. And they've defended well there. Please do subscribe to the channel, by the way. Bottom right-hand corner. Get involved with That's Football. We'll have a match reaction for the Sunday games coming in at about 7 o'clock. But this could be the headline. Liverpool have had a fantastic late win, but this would be the headline if Man City don't win. I think so many people, quite rightly, would have predicted a Man City win. And it still may well end up that way, but Spurs have stayed in the game for nearly 80 minutes here, which is probably an hour longer than most people would have predicted with the defence they've had to put out. I presume Romero is back for the next game. What a ball to Bernardo Silva there on the far-hand side. Good defending, goes for a corner. Goat says, come on Spurs, please. Daniel says, Mark, Champions League question, semi-finals, probably City and Madrid in there. Who are the other two teams? I don't think you can predict it though, mate, because there's nothing stopping City playing Real Madrid in the Champions League quarterfinals. So I don't think you can predict. It's just guesswork, isn't it? Who do I think are the four best teams in Europe at the moment? I'd probably say Arsenal, City, Bayern and Real Madrid. But I'd be very surprised if it is those four teams who make it through, because you just never know how the draw's going to play out, do you? Lo Celso's going to come off here. I think they're going to bring Skip on. Lovely goal. Wow, what a last 12 minutes we've got here. It really could be a big weekend for Arsenal and Liverpool if Man City don't win. That's a throw into Spurs. Højbjerg, foul on Grealish. What can I bet a dodgy penalty to City is coming, says Kevin. Well, yeah, I mean, I still expect Man City to win this. Hopefully it's not through something dodgy, but you'd still expect Man City to win it, I think. Henry's not happy that Skip's been brought on. I mean, you look at the bench of Man City. If you look at the bench for Spurs, it isn't great. But also, if you know the history of Ange at Spurs, he does make substitutions to freshen things up. You look at Eddie Howe last night, he didn't want to make any set bench changes because he knew his bench wasn't that strong. So he stuck with the same players. I think Ange has a different mentality that fresh legs can make a difference. What are your thoughts on Donnarumma's red card? Says Little Dragon. I haven't seen it, so I don't really know. And who do you think will win the Champions League, mate? Says Franco. I'd say Man City. I think they've got to be favourites, haven't they? Free kick here. Yeah, it was a free kick. Bernardo Silva. Stretch time. Well, this is the thing about football, isn't it? A lot of people would have said very comfortable win for Liverpool at home to Fulham. It ended up being really exciting. And a lot of us would have said very comfortable win for Man City here. They don't have the injury problems that Spurs have, and they've got better players. And at the moment, although they've got a very big numerical advantage, there it is. Grealish. Just so disappointing. It's so disappointing how crap Spurs are at the back. An own goal and 2 ridiculously bad defended goals by Spurs. You'd be kicking yourself if you're a Spurs fan. How you've, basically manufactured your own downfall with shit defending. I mean, it's just, again, it's this obsession to play out from the back. Fucking about. I mean, he actually refuses a pass to the left back there. I think it's Basuma. He refuses a pass to the left back to turn back into danger. You can't do that against Man City. It's another 5-a-side goal. It's just simple. Such bad defending. It's so disappointing. I mean, I'm not a Spurs fan, but that's just defensively shit. We'll be good. Excuse me. Brian says, we'll be good really for Soups, but let's be honest, City should have at least 5. Brian, what's this got to do with Soup? Bernardo Silva is deceptively dirty player. He always has been, Zach. Yeah. Yeah, Basuma's cost Spurs there. He's he's had a really good season for them, but yeah, he's made a right cock up there. I mean, you're under pressure from the press, and there's a left back free for a pass, and you turn into danger. Madness. Pressure does a lot. Pressure does silly things to players, though. Well, it was good for 10 minutes. Here's Kulusevski down the right-hand side. He's got to go back, though. Of course, they've took Lo Celso off now for Skip, so that, stunts their creativity a little bit. Oh, ref! That's a nasty one by Vardiel. He'll certainly be booked, I think. Certainly going to get booked. No, it's not. It's nothing more than that. It is only a yellow card. Alex Golding says, crisis, Man United 2 points behind Ange, Bulls title challenging Spurs. You'd have thought Ange cured world hunger the way the media go on about him, says Alex. Is the rain at the Etihad fake, says Bran? I don't think it's a red card at all. You have to watch these things second times. Australian Bielsa says the HPN. Cross comes in. Nothing on the back post. Zepho says, isn't it surprising how VAR hasn't had anything to do this match? I don't think VAR has done much this weekend, has it? Haaland got an assist if you've got him in your FPL. Mukunda is quite right. I don't think we've had anything big in VAR this weekend. PJ says Brighton. Well, it wasn't a penalty at the end of the game because it hit his hand. Kovacic is going to come on for City. Well, it could be the weekend where all the top three grind out 1-goal wins. Arsenal 2-1 against Wolves, Liverpool 4-3 against Fulham, and at the moment, Man City 3-2 up against Spurs. A lot of people saying Chelsea's penalty against Brighton. I'll have to look at it. I haven't seen it yet. Right, here's Kulusevski. He's got a lot of space. He's going to come in on his left foot. And I think he's won another corner here. Yes, he has. 5 minutes to go. They've gone with a short corner. That's a corner as well. I meant Spurs, but City hit the post twice and missed the sitter, says Brian. You know what? Yeah, it did go off the Spurs player. That's a goal kick. Double substitution from City. And Richarlison's coming on for Spurs. Aki and Kovacic coming on for City. Anthony Taylor, the VAR, the fourth official. Mark, do you think the refs need to be firmer on second yellow cards? You so often see them not give a second yellow when they would if it was a first, says Chris. You know, no, I don't mind a bit of a leeway on a second yellow because it really pisses me off when you see a soft yellow and a soft yellow. He's took Basuma off. He'll know he's probably cost them the game. Richarlison on. Spurs will be hoping for another chance here. Look, there's no doubt that Man City dominated the game in the first half. I think the tactical change by Ange in the second half made a difference. But unfortunately for Spurs, it's come down to defensive errors, hasn't it? The Son own goal, the shit defending on the Foden goal, and then, as we've mentioned, what Basuma did on the third goal. And I suppose, you know, that's something about football. We were talking in the first half, weren't we, about the evolution of football and how everybody plays out from the back and everybody presses high up the pitch now. And do you think football's becoming a little bit formulaic in the sense that it's becoming a bit predictable? Because a lot of goals now are coming from mistakes playing out from the back. Now, you go back 10, 15 years ago, we had a lot more variety in our goals, whereas are we seeing a lot of goals now that just come from mistakes of teams trying to play out from the back? Which makes the game very predictable. Systemic, that's the word I was looking for, LFC rookie. We're into the 88th minute here. Guess how long the referee will add on? 6 minutes. Well done, Kulusevski. Not going to give a foul for that, though, is he? He's gone down clutching his face. Well, start, bench, sell, Matoma, Trossard, Garnacho, Mark, says Darian. I'm not answering that. You can't just drop a United young player in there and try and make me say sell. Like, I'd sell Trossard, and then between Matoma and Garnacho, it'd be very close. Cross comes in. Get in! Kulusevski! Kulusevski, 3-3. Get the fuck in. Get in. That's absolutely incredible. What a goal. It's 3-3 in the 89th minute. Get in. Come on. Game on. Absolutely brilliant. Spurs are back in it again. This is a Christmas cracker extraordinaire. Absolutely fantastic. And I've got the key ring. That's brilliant. Look at this from Spurs. Son pings it out wide. There can't be an offside there. There can't be an offside there. No, there's not. And then the cross, there won't be an offside on this because he cuts it back. Yes. Yes. Great goal. Absolutely great goal. Brennan Johnson with the cross. Kulusevski, I think it goes in off his shoulder. How many times do we see that? Right in the top corner. That's not savable. This is brilliant. Brilliant for the league. Can Spurs hold on this time? You hope so. 5 minutes. He's only added 5 minutes. What would this do for the league table? He goes to the stats carousel, sponsored by OneFootball. Download it for free in the link in the video description. The way the league table looks at the moment is like that. Man City would be on 30 points. 3 points off the top. Lesnide says, shut up, Spurs, shut up shop, Spurs, and get the 3 points. Get the point. The trouble is they won't shut up shop, will they? Although Pedro Porro's done well there. What a game, says Lee Berman. Well, I did worry that we'd missed the best game of the day. Liverpool-Fulham. As a watch-along, I thought, oh, we've missed the best game of the day. But to be fair, at 3-3, this is fantastic. Kulusevski's been booked. I thought Kulusevski had already been booked. No. Moratti's captained Haaland. Oh, we all do that. Oh, he's going to keep that in, Nathan Aki. No, it's not. It's gone out for a goal kick. That's 92 minutes. There's 2.5 minutes to go here. Look, the more points Man City drop, the better. Look at that league table if it stays like that. And they've got to go to Villa on Wednesday night without Rodri. So great watch along for a neutral, says Stu. Yeah, it's been really enjoyable, mate. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Spurs just got to keep their heads here. Don't do anything stupid at the back. I've played the game. Spurs got the ball here. Son goes wide to Kulusevski. Cross to the back post. Lay it off. Oh, that's just bloody unlucky. You know, if City break away now. No, he's played on. I don't know what they're doing. Man City aren't happy. Oh, poor Man City. They might be on the end of a bad decision here because Grealish is through one-on-one. Doesn't matter. The whistle's gone. What are you moaning about? Cry, cry me a river. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. Cry me a river. It's gone. You can't do anything about it. Grealish was through one-on-one. And the referee had blown for the foul on Haaland because he didn't see an advantage. I don't know why. It's a big mistake by the referee, to be honest. I don't know why the referee didn't play that on. I don't know. I that not, you know, I never want City to do well, but I've got to admit, I don't know why the referee didn't play that on. It was bad refereeing, but you can't do anything about it. It's a fuck up. It is a fuck up. But why is Grealish moaning about it? It's not like he's going to go back and say play on. And you know what, Man City, can we all just collectively say, we don't feel sorry for you because you always get the big decisions. Fulham offside, Kovacic red card, penalty at Old Trafford. You get all the decisions, so no one cares. There won't be a VAR in crisis or VAR is shit video from me. I ain't got no sympathy for you because you've been getting away with it for fucking weeks. And you've been there smugly saying, oh, we don't care, we don't care. So, to me, the ref's a fucking hero. If I had his address, he'd get a Christmas card. He's made a massive, massive mistake. And it's about bloody time it happened to Man City. What goes around comes around. Although it never does. Man City have got a corner here. It might not be over yet. No card for crowding the ref, I see. Says, yeah, well, exactly. Exactly. Man City are allowed to do that to the referees. They're the only team in the league. They've gone with a short corner. They can still win it. Oh. Bernardo Silva. Rico Lewis. Push the line out, City. Kyle Walker. Bernardo Silva. Erling Haaland. Rodri. They're all queuing up on the back post. And look at them. Look at them looking for a penalty. Nah, that's not a penalty for me. That's not a penalty for me. Not a penalty for me. Never a penalty. They've already had one of those in the Manchester derby. You don't get another one. Ah ha ha ha! You're not getting another one. You're not getting another one. You've already had one. You've already had one of those. You're not having another one. Well done to VAR. VAR has been fantastic tonight. Ref, blow the fucking whistle. Why is he playing so long? 98 minutes, mate. You were only meant to give 5. Why are we playing so long? That's the final whistle. Oh, it's a joyous occasion. Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to the Etihad. Come and enjoy it, joyful, triumphant Tottenham. Oh, come, let us adore them. Oh, come, let us adore them. Haaland's in a mood. Cry, you bitch. Yes, come on. 1-1. Look at Haaland with his hair down. Go and get in the shower. Wash and go. Wash and go. Moody. Moody. Look how they react when they don't get their way. Moody. Moody. Look at him. Look at him. Look at him. FA, do your job. Do your job. Do your job. Do your job and give them an FA charge. They are a disgrace to football. They are a stain on the game. They crowd referees and they get away with it all the time. Absolute disgrace to football they are. They crowded the ref when he made a mistake. Give justice for referees. These referees, I'm just going to change my tune. These referees have it really hard. He's made an honest mistake. He's made an absolute clanger. But you know what? It's not, you know, it'll all even itself in the end. It all evens itself out in the end. Yeah. Anyway, I love it. What a watch along. It's been great. Well done to Spurs for getting a point. Well done to Liverpool and well done to Arsenal. You are the title contenders at the moment. Man City back in crisis. Villa, do your job on Wednesday night and beat them again. Get that tune recorded, says Noah Elliott. It's been a lovely watch along. I'm on the United stand at 8 o'clock. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And I'm going to do a little match reaction summary of the weekend. Should we call it Man City in crisis? We'll have to wait and see. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care. Make sure you subscribe on the way out. Lovely. Love it.